Today we take our brand new A90 Supra to the track to get some benchmark lap times, and things get a little out of hand on the track. We have arrived at TMP Cayuga, and we've got with us our Supra. Today we are going to do some extensive testing on the stock car, and we've got a pretty good system.
We're going to start with the car out of the box as it is. Tire pressure's at 40 psi. I'm going to leave traction control fully on and just set a baseline. I think we'll turn traction control to one setting, and then we'll turn it off, and then we'll start playing around with the tire pressures. 40 psi is a bit high, but yeah, we're really excited to have it out here and hopefully set one of the first lap times for a Supra, fast lap times I should say.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's up to me to perform, so we'll see what happens.
Lap timer is on. We'll start her up. Get out of it for this lap and go in. Now it does not feel amazing right now. It's very sharp, but man, once these the traction control is just awful.
And that's the end of our first session there.
We started off with traction control on, set a decent lap time, and then realized that tire pressures went up quite a bit.
Yeah, she's not happy. I think we're gonna have to lower the tire pressures.
So that was one traction control on one step. Did a 120.38. So went 2 seconds faster. But it's a lot of work, and I think the tire pressures are really the biggest issue. It actually tells you the inside tire temperatures. So 84. So the fronts are just overworked, and yeah, the fronts have actually gone up, which doesn't make sense. I thought nitrogen doesn't change pressures. They clearly lied to me. So the tire pressures are way too high. We've got to drop that quite a bit. So they went from 40 psi to almost 50 in the front and 48 in the back, which is obviously not conducive to fast laps. So we dropped the tire pressures down to 38, and then started with traction control off.
Okay, put it in sport mode, and then I will hold traction control, and it will go fully off. Grippier. A throwaway.
Honestly not feeling great.
No.
I'm actually worried that we're not going to get that much faster.
Where are you sitting at now?
Basically it had a 119, and then I completely lost it. Yeah, I think the tire pressures are still too high. Went a little bit faster, then dropped tire pressures a little bit more. We got it down to a 119.4, and was on pace for a 118.5 based on the predictive of our aim solo, but I had hit a cone right into the middle of the track the lap before, so it completely ruined my lap.
I'm gonna try and go faster here. We dropped the tire pressures 2 psi all around, so hopefully that helps with the pushing. 1:33.9. That second lap, the last one, the one that I just did, was a 1:18, but the lap before I clipped the cone. It was in the middle of the track, so I had to avoid it, and the car got a little bit squirrely.
Tire pressures right now, we're down to like 32 to 34 hot, front and rear. The car still has a tendency to push, which may be me going into the corners too hard, but it's feeling better. It's definitely, you know, a fun car to drive. There's a few areas where they have cones for this lapping day that kind of block if you're going to go for the fast line, especially into the chicane section. But overall, the car is, you know, relatively manageable. You drift it through turn 1 if you want. All the slow turns are a bit of a struggle. Trying to manage the turbo coming on and hitting peak torque, which is around 3,000 or less RPM. So torque comes on really quickly, so managing that to control wheel spin. Yeah, everything else, the car feels good. It's really sharp. It's kind of a weapon compared to driving an M4 or, you know, some of these bigger BMW cars. But so far, really impressed with it. I think we definitely need to do an alignment on it and probably brake fluid. But other than that, you know, I think so far the base setup is pretty good considering it's 100% stock.
Cavill from Make It Shine had told him that Dave Pratt from Speed Academy wants him to do
118 or I'm not his hero.
After dropping the tire pressures a little bit more to 34 front and 32 in the rear, Chris went into full Honey Badger mode and decided to try and hit that elusive 118 lap time. To say that he was on full attack mode would be an understatement. He was trying to do everything out there to get that lap time down.
Too far. I'm not sure what happened to this increased brake pressure, but it did not do that there. Alright, going out for another session, let the car cool down. Front tire pressures have been dropped 2 psi. So that's frustrating. That one lap was a 118.15 and then just pushed a little bit too wide into turn 10.
With the tires hot, the car was quite loose indeed. And then Chris's last chance right now to get into 118s and be Dave Pratt from Speed Academy's hero. I wish him luck. With the end of the lapping session approaching, Chris was pushing really hard and exceeded the limit just for a second. Needless to say, Chris left it all out on the track that day.
Alright guys, so end of the day, 5 o'clock. I didn't succeed in getting to my 18 goal. Unfortunately, my best time is at 119.21. During the day, I did have 2 like really low 118.15s on the predictive. Probably would have ended with a 118.5, but I couldn't pull it out. The car is feels a little bit unstable in high speed corners. The back end wants to let loose, so that's something I think we can address with Some alignment, we'll play with the alignment a little bit. Does have a little bit of push through it, but overall the car performed flawlessly. I drove it pretty hard. She's got some marks on her that I'll need to get cleaned up. Yeah, no, don't show them that. But overall, I mean, yeah, car ran flawlessly all day, just like, you know, all you haters, BMWs, they're reliable. They run all day, like no issues. We didn't have to check anything. We just played with tire pressures. So yeah, that's the BMW side of this drivetrain. Yeah, I'm not complaining at all. But the car is great. It's dynamic. It's easy to hold a drift in a high-speed corner. Yeah, I think I just need a little bit more time behind the wheel. If we can get it to grip up the rear in high speed and maybe push a little bit less in the low speed corners, I think we'll have a car that'll, you know, these are stock tires, Pilot Super Sports. I think with some better tires, this car is easily good for, you know, a 17 without any modifications. So it's a bit of a track weapon off the showroom floor. I'm really impressed with the car today. I think I hope to see more people taking them out to the track and not just putting them away and storing them. This is an exciting car and it's meant to be driven. Maybe not this hard, but yeah, go drive them.